The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed Studio. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. This is the Sportsocracy, and we are in the Wicked Weed Studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. Now, 7-round mock draft for the Minnesota Vikings. Skol. Minnesota Vikings. I love this team. I don't know why. It's always been one of my favorite teams throughout history. Mike Zimmer, I'm a big believer. I just wish you could find a way to make this team a little bit better. They're going to have plenty of opportunity to do so in this draft. They got a lot of picks, 4 of them in round 4 of the draft.
So you said that the Lions, when we did their video, that was your favorite haul of the draft?
Yes.
Minnesota Vikings might be mine.
This is yours?
This might be mine.
All right, all 7 rounds of the draft will be covered right here in the Sportsocracy. Live instant reactions all 3 days starting 7 o'clock on Thursday night. Be sure to mark your calendars to join us and subscribe to the channel so you get all of the draft prep videos that are going out. Minnesota Vikings with the 14th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Christian Darrisaw, the offensive tackle out of Virginia Tech. Some people have said he's the best tackle in this draft class.
They're wrong.
They are wrong.
Those people are not right.
They are wrong.
Sewell is the best tackle in this draft class.
But Christian Darrisaw is a very fine prospect.
He's 2. He's the second best tackle in this class. The biggest knock on him is that I've seen him against the run way more than I've seen him against the pass, and I'm not sure how good of a pass blocker he actually is. The grade was fine. It was just limited. This was a heavy play action, heavy run offense. That's really the only knock I have on him. I mean, there's some jump out of his stance too quick, and sometimes the hips aren't completely fluid. Other than that, he's a gigantic human being with very good technique to be as young as he is. I really like this kid. I know Minnesota really likes this kid. There is some talk they think they're going to have to trade up to get him. I don't agree with that. I don't think. I mean, maybe the Chargers take him in front of him, but I just don't buy it. I think he'll be there at 14. I think that's their pick at 14.
He was excellent at Virginia Tech, and they ran the ball a lot with Khalil Herbert and both of the quarterbacks, the mobile quarterbacks that they had. I think he's pretty well suited for the NFL, for the next level. Number 78, no pick in the second round, so third round, 2 picks in the third round. Cameron Sample, edge rusher out of Tulane.
The ironic thing is that they lost this pick with the Yannick Ngakoue deal, the second round pick. I think they might replace him with Cameron Sample. I like Cameron Sample a lot. This is a dude who has leveraged for days, very versatile body type, crushed it at the Senior Bowl, 6'3", 280. The one fear is that he only did this for 1 year. And he did it with another legitimate edge in Patrick Johnson on the other side. That makes me nervous. Didn't play the highest level of competition. Yannick Ngakoue had a lot of these same. That's one of my favorite comps in this draft, by the way. I like Cameron Sample a lot. I think he would add to this pass rush, which they desperately need to. I think he would be a tremendous value at the end of day 2 or midway through day 2.
The 90th pick overall, safety out of Virginia Tech, going back to the Hokie well with Divine Diallo.
This is a guy that you have to replace Anthony Harris. Anthony Harris, who was not particularly good last year, by the way. Leaves and goes to Philadelphia. He's a box safety. Not a super great athlete, but he's a thumper. This is a guy that plays very balanced. You don't ever see him he doesn't overrun things hardly ever. Everything always stays in front of him, which to me is a tremendous box safety. He will be 23 years old before next season starts, and I think that's why you'll be able to get him right here. The tape on him says beginning of the third round, late 2. But I think you'll be able to get him midway to late in round 3 because he is slightly older.
4 picks in the 4th round, and they start out the 4th round with 119 overall. Sage Surratt, a wide receiver out of Wake Forest. He is a North Carolina boy. I was covering him play high school football in Lincoln County back in the day. Sage Surratt, obviously his brother Chaz, is also in this draft coming out of North Carolina as a linebacker. Sage is a guy that sat out this past season, and he's the one guy that I think it hurt the most. That his value dropped the most.
I don't, because the Wake Forest offense went in the shit pile with it without him. He was the offense. You have to understand, this was the only legitimate weapon they had. I'll tell you a fun stat on Sage Surratt. He had 30 contested reception situations in 2019. How many of them did he catch? It's 18.
28.
It's 18 of 30.
Wow, that's a lot.
Stupid. Very physical. He's not overly athletic. He's not going to scare anybody deep. But when you have Justin Jefferson, who does scare people deep, Adam Thielen, who is a really good yet small slot receiver that can run the dynamic routes across the middle, can also beat you deep. This is a guy that can go get you first downs. Because if you have a physical corner, that's who you're going to put on Sage Surratt. The one fear for me is that I don't know that he's going to be able to separate tremendously at the next level, but he is very big-bodied. He's a big-bodied Golden Tate to me.
Okay. Doesn't have top-end speed. He doesn't have the burners. But, I mean, he's still pretty fast.
Yeah,
still
but see, the beauty of Minnesota is that he doesn't have to do that. They've already got a guy that does that. And you got a tight end in Irv Smith that's super athletic. I think you're going to love the way this offense looks with Irv Smith. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that because I've been saying it for 2 damn years.
He's an immediate upgrade over B.C. Johnson.
As many people would be.
As many people would be. With a 125, Chauncey Golston. I know you hate that last name. Chauncey Golston, the edge rusher out of Iowa. He's a Jets fan, so Vernon Golston, we don't talk about that too much.
This is a big man. 6'5", 270. I actually think he can slide to the interior in a 4-3 and be an explosive situational pass rusher. Think back to what the Giants did with that NASCAR package back in the late 2000s.
Yeah.
I could see this guy being that because some of the best tape on him came on the inside. He's a little thin at 270 to play on the interior unless you're using him as the explosive. Guards and centers can't get out of their stance quick enough to block this guy. It's exactly what I think he will be. I think he would fit tremendously on this Vikings line and would give them an interior pass rush presence that they desperately need.
Okay. All right.
You put him next to Daniil Hunter, holy Jehovah. Sweet baby Jesus, call the in-laws and put on the mashed potatoes.
Katie, bar the door. He's getting in the backfield.
That's the stupid Southern phrase I was trying to think of. Katie, bar the door. Put on the tater. What the fuck does that mean? Keep going.
Yeah. 134. 134. Aaron Banks, guard out of Notre Dame. There are a few things that I trust more in an NFL draft than I trust
Notre Dame
linemen out of Notre Dame.
As well you should.
That and defensive backs at LSU.
The thing about him is that he looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. He would be best in a zone scheme. You know, he's 6'6", 330, not overly athletic and not as powerful as you would think being as big as he is. This is a guy that I think can schematically be taught how to be an impact guard. A lot of people disagree with me on Aaron Banks and think he's going to be lower than this. Guard is in the eye of the beholder in this draft. And this is a guy that I look at, and I look at where the line fits, and there's something about him playing Christian Darrisaw that just touches me in a place that if a woman touched me there, I would say, ooh, that way.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know what it is. I very rarely ever link up rookies and go, God, I'd love to see them play together. But for some reason, I really like Aaron Banks and Christian Darrisaw.
All right. At 143, linebacker Justin Hilliard out of Ohio State.
I'm so drunk on this guy. If Justin Hilliard was toilet wine, I would be dead in my prison cell by now. I think I've said Justin Hilliard's name more than any linebacker in this draft class. There's not. Do you like that? Yeah, I can't.
That's one of the better ones. Yeah.
Yeah, my brain works in a weird way.
That's good.
My mom hugged me too much. My dad didn't hug me enough, and here I am. Justin Hilliard's one of those guys that if there was more tape on him, I think he would easily be a no-doubt day 2 pick. I think he's going to fall a little bit because he never played more than 230 snaps in a season. There's injuries. The height, weight, they're not great because he is a little short at 6'1", 231. But damn it, the tape's so friggin' good. I look at him and go, the worst that you're going to be is an elite up man on punt teams, special teams guy, kick coverage, just everything. Just be an animal on special teams. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, injuries and being over. There are 2 other Ohio State linebackers that are graded ahead of him by everyone but me. I like Justin Hilliard better than both of them. And I think they overshadowed him. He wasn't asked to do as much as he would have been asked to do in other places. I love Justin Hilliard. This would be, no doubt, my favorite pick of the 4th round.
All right, with 2 picks in the 5th round, the Minnesota Vikings with the first one at 157 overall will take Rodarius Williams, a cornerback out of Oklahoma State.
Hey, you remember that thing I just said about Justin Hilliard being my favorite 4th round pick?
Yep.
Rodarius Williams probably my favorite 5th round pick. People are holding the 2019-2018 tape against him, and they shouldn't. He grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not easy to play corner in the Big 12 because nobody plays any defense. This kid did. He was actually a legitimate, very good man cover corner in the Big 12. That shit never happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's just who can get to 60 first. And I look at this guy and go, you can get him in the 5th round? This is a guy that's going to be a starter in the NFL. You remember that I said that 2 years from now, I'm going to tell you I said it.
Okay.
Mark that damn tape.
All
It's
right.
too hard to find when we don't mark it.
Peyton
Oh,
Ramsey.
by the way, the knock on him is that he'll be 25 in September.
Yeah.
Was he a grown man against boy? In the Big 12, that's bullshit. I don't put any merit into that argument whatsoever. I think it's stupid, and I've heard it a lot.
Why in the Big 12 is it a difference?
Because the thought is that at 25, the fact that he's more physically mature than these younger slider corners that he went up against in the Big 12 because they have so many smaller, faster receivers that he was able to just push them around. That's not how he played. Mm-hmm. That's not the point.
Gotcha.
And now the knock of he's going to be 25 as a rookie, okay, I understand that. If you want to push him down to the 5th round because of that, that's fine. But in terms of corners, there's not 8 better in this class than Rodarius Williams.
2nd pick in the 5th round, 168 overall. You got him taking Peyton Ramsey, the quarterback out of Northwestern.
This kid's getting so much hype, and I think it's because he's so damn smart. This is a bright friggin' kid. Mm-hmm. Didn't do anything. I mean, he started his career at Indiana, then went to Northwestern. Didn't do anything that was great to write home about. He's doing something in this pre-draft process that teams are just in love with. I've watched the tape. There's physical limitations. His height, weight, speed's not great. I don't think he has a great arm, but he's pretty accurate. Doesn't tend to turn the ball over too often. Wasn't asked to do much at Northwestern, but there's something that NFL teams really like about him, which means he has to be put in here. I'll tell you another quarterback, if it's not Peyton Ramsey.
Okay.
And I know they talked to Peyton Ramsey. I know they're interested in Peyton Ramsey. I've heard they're very interested in Felipe Franks, the quarterback out of Arkansas that started at Florida. Mm-hmm. Just keep that under your hat. That's not how I had it go, but it could go that way Saturday of the draft.
All right, at 199, you got him taking Kylan Hill, running back out of Mississippi State.
Yeah, you love Kylan Hill. Give your
I
fate a
do.
compliment.
I like Kylan Hill. He's got a lot of speed. I think he's got great bursts. He's got good movement. I like all the pieces about him. I just don't think he's big enough, I guess, for the NFL level.
5'11", 210. Has nothing to do with size.
Okay.
I look at him and go, you can't run between the tackles. This is a receiving back exclusively to me in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think he would be in Minnesota. I think he would be asked to come in and maybe take a little bit of the load off Dalvin Cook. I just can't see anybody looking at him. I don't see how he ever runs between tackles in the NFL. Ever. Feet are not good. Balance is not good. This is a guy that's going to tip your hand. Think James White. Mm-hmm. This is a young, not as valuable yet James White, but could he develop into that? Maybe. In the right offense, he could develop into that. That's the ceiling. The floor is
nothing
below us.
The floor is not making the team.
Yeah. Practice squad. Being on a practice squad for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. I like the kid. I like his attitude. He was a leader at Mississippi State. He proved that. Again, I just don't know that the talent translates to the NFL. Some kids are great college players and not going to be anything in the NFL, and that is okay.
He's a good tackle breaker. He's a little bit explosive. I just think he's going to be nothing but a receiving back. That's why he gets pushed down here.
Yep.
I don't see him as a runner in the NFL.
Well, it's not really an area of need for the Minnesota Vikings.
No, he
with
could
Dalvin
be.
Cook and Alexander Madison.
He can come in and be the third
anything.
running back in Minnesota behind Madison and Cook and be just fine.
Mm-hmm. The Vikings picks will all be reacted to live right here in the Wicked Weed studio all 3 days of the NFL draft. Be sure to join us, and don't forget to hit subscribe and also share with your friends so they can get up on all of the draft prep as well. 7-round mock draft videos continuing to churn out here over the next few days, so you are as well prepared as possible for the big night on Thursday. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. This is the Sportsocracy from the Wicked Weed Studio. We'll see you next time.